That's just not going to work, is it? Fuck. All right, let's talk about it. Lenore, oh, are you done with the trimming and the noising? Because that would be great. Sorry about this sort of technical delay, but hey, listen, you get what you pay for. Um, let's talk about it. All right. I don't think I have anything in terms of commentary about the debate that any experts haven't offered in a more articulate way than I can offer. Good morning to the kids. How's viewership here? God. Anyway, I don't think I have anything interesting or fresh to add to that. I am disappointed. I'm really disappointed. I was out last night. I'm going to get to that too. I'm going to end this live on a high note because we're not starting on a high note. Last night was the debate was a bummer. Biden's performance was oh my God, bummer. And here's the thing. All right, let me just be really clear. I'm not the kind of Democrat who needs to like sort of mentally want to marry the candidate and fall in love with the candidate. Um, no, in this particular instance, even though I would love to hang out with the Bidens, like I actually would love to go to the Bidens' house for Thanksgiving. Like I think Joe and Jill would like probably run the coolest house on Thanksgiving, and like that would be a good dinner. I want to hang out with Hunter actually. Like I like the Biden family. Seriously, I do. I know, weird. Um, or not weird. I don't think it's weird. What am I talking about? But and I like the man. I really do, and I do not. Let's none of us, please, discount the accomplishments of of his administration, and discount what the last 4 years, 3.5, um, have entailed. It's been a really good run, and a lot has been accomplished, and not praised enough, not commented on enough. That said, I need, as much as I don't need to marry the candidate, I don't need to be in love with the candidate. I don't. What I need is a candidate this year who can unequivocally, um, without question, blow Trump out of the electoral water, electorally evaporate him, vaporize him, rather. That's who I need. Doesn't look like Biden's going to be able to do that. That's what we learned last night. And again, I'm not. This is not about a disloyalty to Joe Biden. I don't think. I really don't, because I like him so much. I really do. Like intellectually, um, politically, uh, personally. Sort of spiritually. He's like my kind of guy. Honestly, like I would love. Like, wouldn't the Bidens be the coolest next door neighbors to have? Right? Like, it's a real American family. Um, I need a candidate who can blow Trump out of the water so hard, so hard that Trump wouldn't know what hit him. Like, I just need him knocked out. And last night, oh, when I was listening to some guy, I forget, I think it's on Kara Swisher's On with Kara Swisher, um, and one of her guests said, that debates don't matter. Like, debates rarely sway voter opinion. That may be true. I think last night might be an exception. And again, this is all, we're not even, barely 12 hours out away from it. Um, I, just imagine, okay, just for juxtaposition, because Trump, I forget who said it might have been Jon Stewart, looked like he just got amped up on like a bunch of Big Macs and Diet Cokes. Um, and Biden seemed like he was just like on Sudafed, like kind of dazed, like, oh God, this is like on the one night, you know what I mean? Like in terms of, oh, we had one bad night. Have a bad night in private, away from cameras. This is the one fucking night when it mattered. This was the one fucking night it performatively, when you need to show it to the country. And other Democrats who are like just sort of, we can't turn our back on President Biden now. I'm like, I don't mean it. It doesn't. It's not about that. This is about winning the fucking election. I don't need to fall in love with the candidate. I'm not going to get married to the candidate. I need a candidate who will beat the fucking piss out of Schittler. Blast him into finishedness. That's what I need. I love Joe Biden, but the man I saw last night, the man we all saw last night, is a problem. And let's not be in denial of that. Oh my God. Who's the solution? Who's the alternative? Gavin Newsom? Maybe. I mean, he's got the hair for it. He's energetic. He's informed. He's passionate. He gives a shit. I've actually seen Gavin Newsom up close. Like, there's a real soul in there he gives a shit. And he's, oh my God, could you imagine? Just imagine this. Just picture this. Imagine Gavin Newsom on the stage in that scenario last night against Trump. Would have right. Imagine Pete Buttigieg. I don't know who the guy. I don't know if the guy or woman is, and I don't want to put a woman in there for the sake of having a woman. And also, people got on my dick last night on Threads. What about Kamala? I like Kamala. I really do. The problem is that enough people don't, and we can't turn that opinion around in 180 whatever days. I really don't think we can. I like Kamala Harris. I like her a lot. I really do. I think she's a fucking baller. Seriously. Unfortunately, enough of the electorate doesn't. That seems clear to me. And it ain't my job to make sure that she is liked. That said, I think the VP, I think she's being unfairly, I think she's been very unfairly judged as a vice president because, there are standards that have been applied to her that are now applied that were never applied to, like Al Gore, um, George Bush, um, and Joe Biden as Obama's VP. You know, who is George Bush Senior's VP? Why am I blanking on that? Anyway, so I think Kamala has been very unfairly judged and assessed. That said, not my problem. Like, I like her. Just enough of the electorate doesn't, and that's the problem. Okay? We need to win. All right? Winners. We need to win. Gavin's got the energy. He's got the moxie. A lot of Californians like he is fucking like he's like Michael Rappaport, my buddy. I love Michael, but he's expressing feelings about like the idea that Kamala and Newt Gavin like destroyed San Francisco. Like, talk to Kara Swisher or anybody else who lives in San Francisco. Like, I'm not kind of buying that. Um, we need someone who can win. What do I think behind the scenes? Then it's now not so much behind the scenes. I do think Joe should maybe drop out. I said it there, and I think we need to. I think we need Gavin or Pete. That's what I think. All right, and this is not disloyal to Joe Biden because he is a good man. He is a good fucking man. I think he's a great man, actually. It's just it's time. It's time. He did it. He ran, like his son Bo asked him to on his deathbed, run, as in for president. And he did. And he won. And he did a great job. Oh my God, you guys. But last night is a sign of what's like, but you being disloyal and how dare you? He had one bad night. I'm like, that's the one fucking night that mattered. Ugh. Anyway, all right. On to happier subjects, and then I'm going to go. I went to, starting at 7, was this Q&A thing, Full House, at the SVA Theater on 23rd Street between 8th and 9th. Chris Stein, guitarist, co-founder of Blondie, was on stage with Debbie Harry. Chris Stein has a memoir out. June is fantastic memoir month. Griffin Dunn with the Friday Afternoon Club, wonderful. You know who else is a great storyteller? Chris Stein. I'm halfway through the book. It's delicious. As I'm a fan of rock. I'm a fan of 70s New York. That scene, I was in grade school at the time, but man, I love stories. Because that was the New York I was attracted to, because it was, on television and movies at the time. I knew ever since I was a little kid, that I wanted to be here. Um, and Chris Stein writes about that period so beautifully. Um, and he's a great storyteller. He was so funny last night. And here's the other, of the many layers there. Chris Stein and I have been friends on the social media for a while, on Twitter and then Instagram. Um, and one of those people were just we had this sort of social media bromance. We finally consummated that bromance last night. We finally met in person, and it was lovely. And I think the world of him. A lovely man, also happens to be a very, very funny man. You don't get that sense when you look at his social media, because he's also a photographer and does great. He's kind of like the Bill Cunningham, if you will, of the, early rock scene in 70s, early 80s New York, right? He just was just documenting how things were. And I love his photographs. There's a book out of his photography from a couple of years ago. But you don't get a sense of how funny he is. And Chris Stein is very funny. And also, got to say hello again to Debbie Harry last night. I've met Debbie before, a few times before. Um, but Chris Stein was a first, and that was just the standout for me. I adore that man. Smart, funny. He's had a real heartbreak. He lost his daughter last year to a fentanyl overdose. I got to meet his wife and his other daughter, Valley, who was just the coolest 19-year-old I've ever met. She was there with her BFF, and because there was this little cocktail reception afterwards. Um, Chris saw me. I was waiting for him at the end of the aisle after the whole Q&A thing, and he saw me, and he just puts his arm around me. He says, "I'm so happy you're here. It's so good to see you." And he goes, "Come with me." And we go to this little VIP room. I'm like, I'm following you in here. Yes, come in here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And this was before the debate. The whole event, I walked out of the SVA theater probably around 9:05, and I started watching the debate on my phone. Thank you, CNN Max. And by the way, all right, let me just do a little shout out. Let me just touch back on the debate. So anyway, if you are on, am I talking too long? How's my time? Yeah, 14 minutes. Too much. If you are on Instagram, follow Chris Stein. Follow him. He's so fantastic. Also, get the book. The book is called Under a Rock. It's in my feed on Instagram. Under a Rock, Chris Stein. Whether it's the hardcover or an audiobook or digital, just go get it. It's just chef's kiss, because I'm such a huge Blondie fan and I love these stories. He's such a good storyteller. This is a great month of memoirs. Griffin Dunn's book and now Chris Stein's book. I am just, what a thoroughly satisfying month of reading of memoirs. Back to the debate a second. My friend Dana Bash, I thought, did a great job. Dana, chef's kiss. You guys ran, in terms of debate moderation, they ran a really good show. To their credit, All right, the big story, the only story today is Joe and Trump telling lies because Trump was energetic but full of shit. Like Trump's whole hour, 2 hours was all bullshit. Like he was just completely fact free, like fucked in the head. Whereas Joe was low energy, a little like out of it, dazed, but factually there. Um, and let me end with this. And so yes, shout out to Dana Bash. If, and it looks like this is the case, if Joe is going to be our nominee, if Joe Biden is the Democratic nominee, I am all in. Let me make that fucking crystal. I personally think he should drop out. But if, and we should make room for, Gavin or Pete, Gretchen Whitmer, not enough of a known quantity on the national stage. Like in terms of her, whatever, we don't know enough of her yet. Like she needs to do more hits. I don't have a sense of her, and I'm pretty tuned in. Um, and I like Kamala, but problem is a lot of people don't like Kamala. But if Joe is the nominee, if Joe Biden ends up being our nominee, and he probably will be, I'm all in. I'm going to vote for him, obviously. I am all in. This fucking, like Michael Rappaport, stop it. You are not fucking voting for Donald Trump. If Joe Biden is the nominee, knock it off. That's our guy. Joe's our guy. If he's the nominee, I'm all in. He's our guy. Because the number one priority is not getting everything on your fucking Christmas list, your birthday wish list. No, 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 no. The number one priority is to knock Trump out of the game, whatever it takes. And if it's Joe Biden, I am in, and so should you be. All right. And with that, I leave you. Have a great Friday. I love you all. Thanks so much.